Alright, so it is 2:21 in the morning and we are in my backyard, and today we're going to be talking about Palefest. So it is currently 2:22 in the morning and we are chilling in my backyard because I didn't feel like walking to my studio to record this. I want to go ahead and get this done and get this out on Tuesday. It is currently Tuesday at 2:22 in the morning, as I just stated, and we got a lot to talk about. So before we get started at all, I need to go ahead and give a huge shout out to Bishop. Whenever they announced that the Palefest vendors application was out, I was actually out of town at a wedding, and so by the time I saw that that was a thing, I thought the vendor application was probably already filled. I mean, like, who doesn't want to vend at Palefest? But what ended up happening was Bishop reached out to me personally and was all like, "Hey, dude, you should definitely apply for this. There's only like 2 spots left, so highly recommend that you do that if this is something you want to do." And I did. I applied and I got to be a vendor at Palefest this year, and that in and of itself is an insane thing to say, but yeah, it's wild. It's wild. So again, huge thank you to Bishop for reaching out to me and kind of pushing me into applying for the vendor position at Palefest 3D. Without him, this video would probably be a lot different. Now, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and start talking about Palefest 3D, because holy shit, was that an experience. So the week before Palefest ended up being extremely stressful. So about 3 months before Palefest, give or take 2.5, 3 months, something like that, I reached out to an old friend in St. Louis about getting a backdrop made and about getting a custom table cover for my booth made that had my logo on it, but it would have had 3D glasses. And you know, they said it shouldn't be a problem in 3 months. I mean, that seems like a reasonable time frame. However, a week before Palefest, they emailed me saying it's not going to be a thing. I'm not going to be able to have that done in time. So yeah, high stress came directly after that, you know. So I ended up just doing the best I could with what I had. I ended up going to Party City and getting like a blood splattered tablecloth because I had blood spattered variants of this mask. And you know, I figured it would kind of match the motif a little bit. And then I had some prints made as well. They were supposed to be t-shirts, and those ended up not, they still haven't showed up. I don't know if they will show up. I have no idea. If they do, I'll put them up on a website or something so you can get one of the shirts if you want to. Yeah, the t-shirt was a whole debacle as well. Like, for the t-shirts, I definitely should have went with Low-Key and had him do my shirts, because I know he does quality products. And whenever I had first reached out to him, he said he was down, and then like his dog died not too long after that, and I didn't want to bother him after that because I knew that they were upset. And I didn't want to feel like I was imposing in any way, shape, or form. So I went with someone else, and that came back to bite me in the ass. So yeah, the whole week before Palefest was stressful as hell. And you know, the whole stress was like, you know, this was my very first time vending anywhere. And you know, I felt like I dropped the ball. And you know, I thought it was going to make a terrible first impression. This is my first time vending anywhere. And you know, it's like the best place to vend, I think. And I could have dipped out, but I decided to go ahead and vend anyways, and just, you know, do the best I could with what I have. At this point in time, that just seems to be my life motto. And but you know, I had masks, I had prints, and I had stickers that I was going to be handing out. And you know, we just went ahead and did the damn thing. So I woke up around 1 in the morning and I could not go back to sleep because, you know, Palefest was just a few hours away, and I was excited, you know. So I was testing out my camera, making sure everything was good with that. I was checking out the settings of my lights, checking out my lenses, making sure they were clean. Checked out all of my SD cards, make sure everything was empty, so I had plenty of space to film everything that I possibly could. So we headed back to the Shoemaker Center and checked out the venue before doors opened, and it looked completely different than whenever I left. Everybody's mask setup was really cool looking, and it looked awesome. It looked like a completely different area. Everybody's booth looked amazing. Alexander Titanium's booth was fucking phenomenal. And I mean, everybody's masks there absolutely blew my mind away. But yeah, everybody's booth was just absolutely phenomenal. All their masks, absolutely phenomenal. I ended up having to leave with a few pieces because, I mean, can you blame me? So the doors opened up to the general public, and everybody that came in looked fucking awesome. We had people come in dressed up like Slipknot members. We had people that had their own original things going on. And we even had people that showed up looking like their favorite horror icons. It's just everybody looked super fucking dope. So yeah, there was a surprising amount of people that came up to my booth that knew who I was and watched my videos and stuff like that. That's always a little bit of a mindfuck for me. Like, I know some people know who I am, but like it was substantially more people that knew who I was that came up and wanted to get a picture, get an autograph, buy a mask and stuff like that. Like, that stuff still is a bit of a mindfuck for me. Like, having people say that they binge watch a lot of your content or were binge watching the content in the hotel just before doors open and stuff like that, that's absolutely insane to me. And, you know, I appreciate it greatly. It's just still not something that I'm used to. There was a gentleman by the name of Locked Ridge Masks on Instagram who showed up, and he gave me a ghost face mask. And we'll talk about that on Friday as well. But yeah, was not expecting to receive anything from anybody, like gifts or anything like that. Greatly appreciate it, dude. I'll get you taken care of in the future. We'll talk. But, you know, it was a genuine pleasure meeting everybody that, you know, showed up. We had a lot of subscribers show up and, you know, take pictures and hang out. And it's wild. It's wild to me. And, you know, I don't take it for granted at all. It's just, you know. So we ended up selling like most of our stock on day one. The bloody masks were gone first, and that's also wild. I think by day two we only had like 3, maybe 4 masks to sell, and we only had like 6 prints left, which that's wild. Thank you to anybody that's watching this that bought a mask. You made my entire year. Like, I would have been happy just selling like, you know, 5 masks. That would have been a success to me. But no, we sold most of the masks day one, sold all the masks day 2. And yeah, it's wild. Thank you to everybody that purchased a mask. Thank you to everybody that stopped by and wanted to grab a picture with me. Just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world. I'm truly, truly grateful for everybody that stopped by and said nice things. You guys mean the world to me, seriously. You know, it was really cool hanging out with a lot of you guys, and it was supremely cool hanging out with some of the online homies. I actually kicked it with Chase from Hateful Creations. That dude is literally the biggest sweetheart, and You know, I enjoyed kicking it with them. I enjoyed kicking it with everybody. Like, there's a huge list of names of people that, you know, hung out or at least shot the shit for a little bit that, you know, it's just an overall overwhelmingly positive experience. Hanging out with everybody was super cool. Like, I've hung out with people that I look up to that know me, which is weird. Yeah, the whole thing was surreal. It was a surreal feeling, and it was just a genuine pleasure meeting every single person that I met and hanging out with everybody. I got genuinely choked up there for a second. But everybody was super cool with me. Sorry if I came off awkward at all. I'm not the biggest social butterfly, but I was doing my best, you know, and I was genuinely having a good time meeting everybody, but I know that I am like a little bit socially awkward, and so I apologize if I came off weird to anybody. But, you know, the whole vending experience was a lot less nerve-wracking than I thought it was going to be. It was actually really chill. But yeah, it was just a super fun experience, and I genuinely enjoyed my time just vending and hanging out with you guys. And, you know, we did that for a little bit, and then we moved on to the Battle of the Bands. So that light died. Hopefully one light is good enough. But yeah, the Battle of the Bands. This one is by far the best Battle of the Bands that I had ever seen, and I'm not saying that to win over any brownie points whatsoever. I think the bands that applied understood the assignment and executed it very well. But yeah, the Battle of the Bands was its own concert, and everybody that showed up showed out and did an amazing job. There was not a single person there that gave a half-assed performance. Everybody showed up to win, and it very much shows in their performances. The band She, VJ Burris's band, absolutely kicked ass. Like, I knew VJ Burris played guitar, but I didn't know he could fucking shred like that. You know, I love their sound, and their overall stage presence was absolutely killer. The type of energy they had and the way that they played, you could swear that they were performing in front of a stadium full of people. Like, they really went out there and gave it their all. So Salacia, which is Lonnie's band, they absolutely crushed it. Now, they had to borrow gear from the other bands because, you know, they flew in from the UK. So not only did they show up and absolutely make that stage their bitch, they did it with other people's gear. And if you're a musician, you know that, you know, playing on a different instrument than you're used to, it's a little weird. So, you know, they're using other people's pedals and other people's stuff. So, like, it's not something that they were used to, and they still showed up and fucking crushed. Like, they did an amazing job. Haunter was a fun one. They had a great sound, and they had kind of like a campy goth vibe, and I don't mean that in any way negative. It's hard to explain, I guess, but you know, they played like, they took the job seriously, but they have just like a campy, fun vibe about them, and yeah, I really enjoyed their performances as well. And then we had the coursing on day one. The day one performance was absolutely phenomenal. They came out and they had high energy and they really commanded a great stage presence. You know, they had great energy, they had high energy, they got the crowd really hyped, and everybody seemed to be enjoying their set. And yeah, I think they did a great job on their first performance. There were some that I just didn't catch their name before they performed or after they performed, and I do apologize. Everybody gave it 110% though. I loved every performance. I thought everybody did a really good job. I genuinely hope I don't offend anybody by, you know, not commentating on their band video. It's just, you know, something that I didn't hear or catch whenever I was in the moment recording. So sorry about that. Then we have Mauled. Now, Mauled is a deathcore band, and they showed up and absolutely destroyed everything.
To see what your insides look like.
In the best way possible, of course. Mauled is one of those bands that really brought a different type of energy to the room. You could tell whenever they walked on stage that this was going to be a completely different type of set. Their guitar sounds are awesome, their drum sounds were awesome, their bass was really good, and the vocalist, forget about it. He had amazing breeze, he had amazing gutturals, he had amazing pig squeals. Like, everything about this band was fucking amazing. And, you know, everybody who was there agrees that that is like the best performance of the night. And then we got a performance by Bather, and I mean, those guys crush it every single time they're on stage. So, I mean, it was a Bather set. Do I need to say anything else? They were awesome.
Never said to last for me.
So after all of that, we ended up getting the results of who won the battle of the bands.
Okay, so Baylor worked tirelessly all day judging these bands on these crazy criterias. And we're gonna go from third place to first place. So, third place goes to the boys from the UK, Salacia. All the way from the UK, what the fuck are we talking about?
I thought they were flying home. I couldn't find them. They flew home, I thought.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
Man, this is fucking crazy. Thank you for having us. Thank you to everyone who donated, and we would not be here without any of these guys. So yeah, give a round of applause for fucking all the behind the scenes people and you guys. And thank you. If I didn't send you a mask when I was 16, I would not be here right now. So fucking AJ Good, man. Make your dreams come true.
It's all full circle, man. That's what it's all about. Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you.
All right, are we ready for second place? Nah. Okay, so second place. I called this one early on. One of my favorites of the night was She.
No fucking way, that's so nice. That's so fucking nice.
That was literally the sexiest set I've ever seen in my life. I mean,
Alright, man. I gotta say, as a much less heavier band, it was super fucking intimidating being up here and playing for you guys. But yeah, man, we really appreciate you guys. You've showed us so much love and support, and I could not be more grateful. Thank you to AJ, Bishop, all you guys for trusting in us, and rock and roll!
hell yes. Special shout out to VJ because not only did he perform today, he has a booth over there and he's a volunteer helper for all this. So give it up for VJ. Okay, last but not least. I mean, is there any like questioning who number one is? It's obviously Mauled. I'll tell you, I've been involved in the music industry for a long time, and it's been a long, long time since I felt something like that from a live performance, and it happened right here in the Shoemaker Center. Like, yeah, fucking sick. Congratulations, boys.
I want to thank my mom. No, I'm just kidding. Thank everybody for coming out. Thank you to the judges for fucking picking us. Goddamn. We haven't practiced in like a month, so I don't know how we played that well, but thank you. Anybody else want to talk? All right, that's it.
We bringing back the spin kicks, baby.
Congratulations, fellas. We'll see you tomorrow.
So after the winners were announced, they ended up shutting down the venue, and there was a vendor after party that I did not attend. At that point, I was very exhausted and ended up just going back to my hotel, dumping all of my footage onto my computer and going to bed. So as far as day 2 goes, I woke up very early again. I think I woke up at like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning because, you know, I was just pumped to be there and pumped to be a part of this big thing. So like, yeah, I woke up, was super excited, but, you know, also very tired. Shout out to AJ Good for having a coffee truck in the parking lot because I ended up spending like $30-40 on coffee alone. I really love coffee. It is my favorite meal of the day. So, you know, day 2 we hung out. I ended up selling the rest of my masks and most of my prints. I think we only came back with 2 or 3. But yeah, we ended up selling out within like the first 2 hours.
And you, right here, purchased the very last mask of Palefest.
It looks very tasty.
No more pressure was on, and I just kind of sat back, walked around, and just kind of took everything in. Like, I ended up hanging out with some of the other vendors, kicked it with Chase, and MD Studios, Michael Dufresne. Ended up hanging out with them for a little bit and just walking in and just really enjoying the vibes of Palefest, because you'll hear a lot of people say that Palefest is its own feeling, and it really is. Like the first Palefest I missed out on, but everybody said that there was a vibe, and I thought I knew what that vibe was. I thought it was something like, it's kind of like how the Gathering feels whenever you go to the Gathering, and it's very much not that. Whenever I went to the second Palefest, it was a completely different feeling. You kind of just walk around like, oh, okay, no, this is something completely different. This is something special. You can call it corny, you can call it whatever you want, but I mean, you don't know the feeling. You just don't know how it feels until you've actually been. And there's no words in the English language to describe how Palefest feels, what Palefest is. Like, sure, you can fill another venue with a bunch of mask creators and mask makers and mask sellers, and you could also just throw a concert together as well on top of that, and you could have all the same things, but it won't feel the same. I've been to so many horror conventions and concert festivals, and nothing feels the way Palefest feels. So I'm glad that I got to have a little bit of time before the concert started to just sit and take it all in, because it is an unmatched feeling. There's nothing like Palefest, and I mean, there's nothing that even comes close. Like, the closest thing that I could think of is maybe the Gathering, maybe, but it's just a fraction of the feeling. And I don't know. It's Palefest. Nothing comes close to Palefest. You'll hear like Bishop and AJ being like, yeah, we created a killer festival, and you think they're hyping up their own shit, but no, it's its own feeling. And whenever you go to Palefest, you immediately feel like the change in energy in the room, and it's just all positive vibes, and even if something's not positive, it still feels positive. It's just, I don't know, it's its own thing. Like, if you know, but if you don't know, there's no way for me to sit here and try to explain it to you. You just gotta go and check it out for yourself. So after, taking it all in, I went and grabbed my camera because the concert was about to start. Now, the concert started off a little weird because the band from the previous day, the Coursing, ended up playing like a short little set. Like, they played the same stuff that they played the night before, but they also did a cover of Slipknot's People Equal Shit. I think that wasn't actually supposed to happen. There were people that were genuinely upset that they performed. But yeah, I don't know if they were actually supposed to perform or not, but they did. And then we got started with the real fucking concert. And Mauled came out and was even more ferocious sounding than they were the night before. Like, watching them definitely felt like you were watching a band that is going to be huge one day, and I genuinely hope they do get big. I genuinely hope that they are the next big thing in deathcore, because these guys fucking crushed it. It just feels like something special whenever you're seeing a band that you feel in your heart of hearts is going to be huge one day, and you get to see them before they blow up. Seriously, these guys kick so much ass, and I highly recommend checking out their music. Their recorded music sounds amazing as well. This is one of those bands that sounds really good in the studio, but they also sound just as good live. Seriously, go check out Mauled. The link will be in the description below.
What a day for an execution!
So after Mauled showed up and annihilated once again, we ended up getting to see The Convalescence. Now, The Convalescence is a band that I had not heard of or checked out, but after seeing them live, they did an amazing job. And I will be checking out more of them in the future because their stage presence was awesome. Their sound and dynamics was also very amazing. Like they put on a really good show. They sounded really good. You know, their stage show was amazing, and I'm sure that, you know, their studio stuff is going to sound really good as well. And I will be checking them out this week and, you know, peeping more of their music. They kicked a lot of ass and put on a great stage show. They put on a great performance. And then after that, we ended up checking out Green Jelly. $300 on fucking pool noodles. I've known about Green Jelly for a long time. I actually had a cassette tape that my dad gave me whenever I was but a wee little lad, and it had the Three Little Pigs song that they did, and they performed it that night, which was super awesome to see live. I would definitely say that Green Jelly was not so much a concert, but it was very much an experience. Like, if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, they played music, but it was not so much the music was not the main focus of the concert. It was the experience and just the overall vibe and good time that they were very much having. Honestly, it was a lot of fun, and I'm very glad to have checked out Green Jelly in my lifetime, because that was an experience that you just don't get every day. So after Green Jelly performed, we ended up getting to see Tala. The only way I could describe Tala's show was that it was very tight, very uniform, very in the pocket. Like, seriously, it was a great performance from the band. I thought they did an amazing job. Now, even though I know who Tala is, I don't, know them well enough to know any of the names of their songs, so I do apologize, but they fucking crushed it. Like, the singer even did some, like, fast spitting stuff and then, screamed fast, and, if you know me, you know that I love, fast, tight-knit vocals as well. And yeah, I think they did an amazing job. So after Tala ended their set, AJ was up in the second layer of the venue and he was talking to the audience. He and Bishop were giving what I thought was like the final conversation of the show, the final goodbye, parting words, if you will. I thought that was the end of the show. But they did a masterful job of pulling the wool over our eyes, because they were talking and they ended up walking to the other side of the venue. Everybody was focused on them. So they walked all the way to the other end of the venue. Everybody's gaze was away from the stage and focused on them and what they were talking about. They were saying thank yous. And then AJ said,
that this was never about
that eerie sound loop, which could only mean one thing. We got a surprise performance by Swollen Teeth. Now, I myself, I love Swollen Teeth. I think they're a fantastic band. I wouldn't call myself like a super fan like a lot of the people in the audience are, but you know, I'm a fan of their music nonetheless, and I was excited because I got to see them for the second time at Palefest. And they put on a great show. They put on an emotional show. There was a moment in there, like if you were there, you know, but I genuinely got choked up watching them. And we, the audience, got a sneak peek at a new song that they did. They performed it for the very first time at Palefest. And I did, in fact, record that new song, and I'm not going to post it on here because I don't know the legality of me releasing an unreleased song before. I don't want to end up with like a copyright strike or anything like that, but yeah, their new song, fucking killer. AJ and Bishop took to the stage and gave us some parting words and said one final goodbye.
All right, guys. It's that time where we all start crying and shit, so. This is the real goodbye. I want you guys to know that we love you more than you can possibly imagine. Not to rub it in, but this was the first year we were profitable, and then me and AJ blew the money on the Swollen Teeth show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you guys enjoyed it, and man, here's to next year.
I got nothing. Get home safe. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you again soon.
And that was it. The show was over after that. And, you know, AJ and Bishop really outdid themselves this year. Not only did they create a great experience for showgoers, but they also created an amazing experience for the vendors as well. I would say everybody involved had an amazing time. Like, I can only speak from personal experience, but you know, for me personally, I thought it was one of the greatest weekends of my life. Even though I had a little bit of stress leading up to Palefest, whenever I finally got to Palefest, it was an incredible experience, and I consider myself so very lucky that I got to be a part of this. It's one of those moments that, you know, I don't know if you've ever had, but you know, sometimes you have a moment where you realize that this is something that you are going to remember for the rest of your life, and it is like a core moment, a core memory. That's the word I'm looking for. It's a core memory. Like, Palefest is something unique and something that if you are in this hobby, you need to experience at least once in your lifetime. You know, Palefest isn't just masks. It's not just music. Like, it is those things, but it's not just that. Palefest is a feeling. Palefest is an experience. Palefest is so much more than what you might think it is. If you've not been here, it's so much more than what you think it is. I promise you that. And sure, you could try to replicate it. You could get some of the same vendors, and you could get some of the same bands even, and you could make your own little music festival, music mask festival, and at the end of the day, it's not Palefest. No, Palefest is so mumuch more than just a concert. It's so much more than, you know, mask collecting. It's so much more than any of that. It's a vibe. You know, I could keep droning on about what Palefest is or what Palefest isn't, and it wouldn't even begin to scratch the surface of explaining what Palefest actually is. And you know, honestly, you just had to be there.